Mrs. Fitzgerald was standing at the window when I knocked and opened the door. She gave me the smile one would give a child. "He's gone," she said. "My husband?" "Yes, Mrs. Fitzgerald. He left to tend to your daughter. But he can't really leave if we don't drop his name, can we?" she said. "Call me Zelda." Call Me Zelda begins in 1932 in Baltimore when Zelda Fitzgerald checks into the Phipps Psychiatric Clinic at Johns Hopkins, and it's there she meets my fictional nurse Anna and forms a lasting and healing friendship. In many biographies I read about a nurse who lived with Zelda, and I never knew who the nurse was, but I used that to create my nurse, Anna. Zelda's life was a grand adventure. It began in Montgomery, Alabama. She was the belle of the South, the belle of the ball, a wild debutante. And when she met Scott, she saw him as a doorway to a life of adventure and was certainly stimulated by the idea that she was his muse. The second part of her life, when she spent in and out of psychiatric clinics, were very difficult years, but they were also years when she created a lot of art. She wrote a novel in 6 weeks. She danced, and it was a time of great growing in her maturity, but also, unfortunately, a time of great struggle in her marriage and in her own life. One of the dominant themes in Call Me Zelda is the idea that there's no greater love than to lay down your life for a friend, and I try to show that through the friendship of Anna and Zelda, how like the wind chimes that go from copper to something melodic, Zelda's trials, Anna's trials, the things that they face help to make them something truly beautiful by the end. I was surprised many times while I was researching and writing the novel. Most often I was surprised by how devoted F. Scott and Zelda remained to each other, even in the worst of times. He never abandoned her, he tried to keep her well, and I often felt that if they could have stripped away some of the distractions or the alcoholism, that they might have actually been able to exist somewhat peacefully together. When everyone left, I remained at the grave, praying for Zelda and for Scott, listening to the toll of the church bells. I still think of them every day, and I rest knowing that they are finally at peace. The mythic salamander and her one true love.